Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for the finale of The Walking Dead Season 6. And wow. wow. A lot of disappointed people today. I was going to do this review. Obviously, I would have loved to have done it yesterday, right after the episode. But for those of you who are familiar with what I do and some of the things I talk about, like on The Nation, recently I've had a change in my job, a very good change. So I don't have Mondays off anymore to do any recording throughout the day. So I have to wait, get in bed early, and get ready for work the next day. But it's also given me a good amount of time to talk about this episode because a lot happened, and I really had to digest the episode because I wasn't too crazy about the way it ended. The episode in and of itself was really good. The season overall was a great season. I almost regret the fact that I had to kind of select certain episodes to review while talking about the mid-season and kind of breaking things up the way I told you guys I would a couple months back when I was trying to make some changes to make things a little bit easier for myself. But with that said, first of all, I thought Negan was great. Okay, Negan was great. Jeffrey Dean Morgan did a fantastic job. He's a good actor, and he really had a very good presence on screen, and I really liked the way he delivered his lines, and a lot of them were right out of the comic book if you're familiar with it. A couple of lines he didn't say, like for example, one of the things in the comic was he went to each person that was kneeling down, and he found the reason why he couldn't kill them. Like for example, when he spoke to Carl last night about being a serial killer and all that, well, in the comic he has a distinct dialogue with Carl, telling him that, you know, you've been through a lot of, you know, something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, but you've been through a lot of crap, kid, and, you know, your story's not over yet, so I can't kill you. That's something he said in the comic. He didn't say that last night. Also, when he first approached Glenn in the comic, he says, you know, you're Asian and I don't want to be accused of being a racist or something like that. So he was finding different reasons why he couldn't kill certain characters. Now, obviously, due to time constraints and it's TV, so that obviously they're going to change things up. So he didn't get to do that. And of course, the cursing wasn't there. So the cursing makes him very comedic. And it was funny because while I knew that it was a dreadful moment in the show, I couldn't help but find pleasure and I couldn't help but smile during his moments, during his moment on the show. So that's a testament to just how impactful this villain is. And there's very few villains out there that can make that kind of impact on you where you like him, but you can't like him at the same time. You know, we think about villains like Vader, Voldemort, Agent Smith from The Matrix, you know, great villains throughout the years, and many more, of course, that I'm just, you know, I'm only mentioning a few. The episode in and of itself, I thought was, you know, this is the kind of episode that people are going to love or hate. And there's a lot of people out there who didn't like it, not only because of the ending, but because there was this build up towards the end that I think was an acquired taste. I personally liked it because it started to show little by little just how dangerous and just how many numbers the Saviors have. And it also slowly started to wear on Rick's mentality because here's a guy who's been very cocky about the Saviors and how he's handled them. And now he's realizing he hasn't even hit the tip of the iceberg. You know, especially when you got that one scene where they were driving up the road and there's just a whole mess of them just sitting there waiting. And there's something built behind them and whatever. I'm talking about like the second to last one before they decided to leave the RV. There was just so many of them. And they cut them off at so many. It's like every time they got stopped, the group got bigger and bigger that they came across. And I thought the walkers being chained up was a very good, very unique scene. Something we haven't quite seen yet. And, you know, it's funny. And one thing I mentioned on The Nation while I was watching it was, you know, the Saviors were on point. They had the high ground and they had the head games, you know, right there. They were playing head games. You saw the Michonne's dread on the zombie. You saw Daryl's clothes and stuff. And then they were hiding in the top hills, in the bushes, and they were firing upon them, trying to flush them out or scare them. They weren't actually trying to hit them. And so I thought that build-up to Negan was great. It's the payoff that we didn't get. And I think that's where they made a mistake. I know that Scott Gimple was trying to defend this, and that's the end of one story in the beginning of it. You could say all that. Let's just call it what it is. It was a mistake. You don't build up that much tension and then leave everybody with blue balls till season 7. It's just not right. If you're going to have an ending like that, then you shouldn't have a build up like it either. You shouldn't have a 90 minute show. You shouldn't have a build up leading up to an ending that's very suspenseful, very scary, only not to give the viewers a conclusion that they've really been waiting for since the second half began. I mean, people have literally been waiting for this moment. And I kind of feel like they stripped that moment away. Now, to be fair, he did acknowledge that it was going to be a challenge for them to try and justify the first episode and who they chose to kill next year. But they're going to have to hit a home run in that first episode. And I think when push comes to shove, once they show that scene, because the person who's dead, it's not a question anymore. They already know who they picked. So that's not, I mean, there's something on the Talking Dead where I think either Scott or Robert Kirkman or somebody said that they still don't know who's going to bite the dust. And that's a bunch of crap. They know who's going to bite the dust. They know who's going to bite the dust. The important thing is that they have to deliver it now in such a way that you forget about the cliffhanger. Me personally, I think I would have been okay with this kind of cliffhanger for any other death. But when you consider what this moment means to the comic and what it means to fans, I really think they made a bad choice. I really do think they made a bad choice. It did take a lot out of the episode. It kind of made me feel like the Batman vs. Superman movie. The only difference is, unlike, Batman vs. Superman, I mean, I liked this episode overall. Batman vs. Superman, while I enjoyed some of it, outside of the ending, which if you saw my review, I mentioned what I hated the most, there were other elements about the show that were just bad. The movie. So this one gave me that very same feeling. Here's an iconic moment in a comic and you rip it apart. You don't deliver it like it should be delivered. And I think you still would have had a cliffhanger effect by just ending the show with a dead, crushed head. You know what I mean? Because then people would be like, well, what's happening next? There's no, there actually would have been very little closure there. So, I'm not too sure that I don't feel it was a great decision. Now, moving on to the Morgan and Carol part, it's very weird because here are two characters that are very good. I love Carol. Morgan, I've kind of fallen out of love with a little bit because of his approach this year, but he kind of won me over when he killed that guy to save Carol. With that said, though, that portion of the episode felt very, very out of place. Like, I understand the story had to be told. I understand that we want to know what's going on with Carol and this and that. But I kind of felt like if they would have just kept that out, leave that for a cliffhanger, and finish off the Negan story and how that ended, I think it would have been much better. I think if this would have given Negan an extra 5 or 10 minutes in the episode, and you would have cut out the Carol Morgan stuff and leave that as a cliffhanger as to what happens next year, I think that would have been better. Just to introduce one or two characters that arrive to help them, to let people know that the kingdom is coming, there really was no need for that. You know what I mean? There's really no need for it. Most viewers that are general viewers that don't know anything about the lore are going to think they're from the hilltop, and most fans already figured out they're from the kingdom already. So you don't win or lose anything by showing that. I think if they would have left that out, let that be the cliffhanger, I think people would have accepted that more. If it meant them seeing Negan finish doing what he's supposed to do, like in the comic, I think that would have been a better approach. Overall, though, I gotta say, this was the best season of Walking Dead in a very long time. That's not to say some of the other seasons aren't good. Like, last year was really good. Season 1 obviously is really good. Season 2 remains it used to be my favorite. Now it's my second favorite behind this one. And this season has had some of the best episodes. This is still one of the top episodes of The Walking Dead. It just had a very bad payoff. It had a very bad ending. But then you think about, the other episodes we had, with the, in the second half in particular, No Way Out, stuff like that. I think it was the best season they've had so far. And because shit's about to get real, I have 6 to 7 months to figure out how I'm going to go back to reviewing The Walking Dead every Sunday nights. Because after watching this season and knowing what's coming, there's no way I'm going to be able to maintain talking about only a couple of episodes throughout the season and then doing half reviews, like first half review, second half review, and not be able to talk about each and every episode. I think each and every episode is gonna deliver something special. But with that said, I know people are gonna wonder who I think it is that got killed. I think it's Glenn. I really think it's Glenn. There is an audio out there that for all intents and purposes, I don't want to say confirms that, but gives you that idea. But even before hearing that, the reason I thought it was Glenn is because there was only 2 people I really thought would get it. It would be Glenn and Daryl. And I don't see Daryl getting it now because, number one, not only he's shot, but they have now established a rivalry between Dwight and Daryl. And it's a rivalry that's going to end one of 2 ways. I don't think we're going to get the Dwight from the comic. I don't think Dwight is going to become the man that hops left and right and then eventually chills with Rick, because I think Daryl's going to be that man. What I do think is down the road, and I said this a couple of weeks ago on The Nation, this was my hope. My guess is that Daryl will get his payback and Daryl will eventually lead the Saviors once we get down that road. So, for those of you who are wondering why I would think that, you got to read the comic to understand. I didn't really spoil anything, But if you read the comic, you understand where I'm coming from. But anyway, guys, that's it for this review. How did you feel about the episode? I know a lot of you were very disappointed. I am as well. I feel you on that. I'm not happy with the way it ended, but, be that as it may, just keep off the internet for the next 6 months. Otherwise, if you don't want to find out who it is, because it's going to leak. I don't care what they say. The Walking Dead and AMC are not good at keeping leaks. Their shit gets leaked a lot. So also, one thing we're going to be doing here is, I know that I didn't do a lot of Walking Dead videos this year. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this with a lot of my videos for the next coming weeks, because I'm kind of moving stuff around again. And every time I come to do a video, I kind of get a mental block of what to talk about. So I'm going to open the floor for the next couple of weeks. And if there are any videos you guys want me to do, be it Walking Dead, be it anything else, just leave it in the comments below and I will work on it. I already have a list of videos that I got from people on the nation who mentioned what videos they wanted me to do. And if you're a Walking Dead fan, and I know a lot of you guys are here, a good portion of my subscribers are Walking Dead fans if they're still around. We will do all the Walking Dead you want to do. Just let me know what kind of videos you want me to do, what kind of topics. I know one person already said he wants me to do a season 7 prediction. So I'll have to really brainstorm that because we have very little to go on, but I'll do my best. And if there's any other topics Walking Dead related that you want me to discuss, definitely will do that here on the channel. So until then, we will do not only this video for the season 7 predictions coming up, not today, but in the coming days. So I really got to brainstorm what I think it might be. But also we'll do a second half overall review, which I can tell you right now is going to be very favorable. I thought it was a great second half. And then from there, like I said, if you want to leave in the comments certain Walking Dead type videos you want me to do, just let me know. If you want me to, whatever you want, just put it in the comments. Whatever kind of Walking Dead video you want to see, I'll be more than happy to do it. And I'm going to see if I can catch up with Fear the Walking Dead this week before the season premiere. I did watch the first 2 episodes last year and I wasn't too crazy about it. But I kind of want to put into practice reviewing videos on a regular basis again, because I will be doing that for Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones I will not be skipping. I will be doing every episode of Game of Thrones. So, all right, guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to comment below. Let me know what you thought of the finale. And like I said, leave a comment or a suggestion of any kind of Walking Dead video you want me to do in the coming weeks or over the year, over the rest of the summer and spring and leading into season 7. We'll go from there. All right, that's it. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit ETN's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for the finale of The Walking Dead Season 6. And wow. wow. A lot of disappointed people today. I was going to do this review. Obviously, I would have loved to have done it yesterday, right after the episode. But for those of you who are familiar with what I do and some of the things I talk about, like on the nation, recently I've had a change in my job, a very good change. So I don't have Mondays off anymore to do any recording throughout the day. So I have to wait, get in bed early, and get ready for work the next day. But it's also given me a good amount of time to talk about this episode because a lot happened and I really had to digest the episode because I wasn't too crazy about the way it ended. The episode in and of itself was really good. The season overall was a great season. I almost regret the fact that I had to kind of select certain episodes to review while talking about the mid-season and kind of breaking things up the way I told you guys I would a couple of months back when I was trying to make some changes to make things a little bit easier for myself. But with that said, first of all, I thought Negan was great. Okay, Negan was great. Jeffrey Dean Morgan did a fantastic job. He's a good actor, and he really had a very good presence on screen, and I really liked the way he delivered his lines, and a lot of them were right out of the comic book, if you're familiar with it. A couple of lines he didn't say, like for example, one of the things in the comic was he went to each person that was kneeling down, and